Hello, beautiful beings, beautiful muses. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm trying this without my glasses, okay? Because I just need a break from seeing myself with my glasses. That is the truth. Um, Welcome back to spring season. Today's share is moving in the series of the Solo Sanctuary Spa. So if you haven't heard the fall and the winter season, you can go back and hear them if you'd like at any moment, because truly we as humans have our own inner seasons. And what I've noticed is until we remember that we are made out of nature and we're natural cyclical beings, and we become more in tune with our own inner realm, then we can begin also to be more in alignment with the seasons on earth. And then it's like this call and response between the both. It just so happens that I in this moment literally am transitioning into a spring season internally for me. It was not always the case where I didn't even know what seasons I was in for most of my life, until a couple of years ago. I really just stopped a lot of receiving external stimuli, receiving teachings from external teachers, and really started this cocooning period of solo sanctuary, of taking myself alone on trips, on road trips, on day trips, on half-day trips, out into nature. And with the spring season, I want to invite us to actually think of it as the winter season that we've just finished. There is this pausing, right? This stopping that I named in the last video, to just be with all of the things that need to die. And there is this moment and these moments that begin to happen from the winter into the spring, where you're so surrounded by silence. And that doesn't mean that you're not like on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, or like on, conversations with people, or on the internet, or, or it's like you're a human being that doesn't talk to anybody. That's not what I'm talking about. But the more you kind of take that inward time for yourself during the winter season and you sit with silence, then you begin to actually hear the sounds of spring, the sounds of the birds singing, like the new possibilities that can be reborn and will be reborn. And so the three words that I wanted to share with you today that really represent for me at this moment, I could have done more internal sitting with, and I was like, those are good enough, were hope, possibility, and trust. Hope, because during a winter season, during a dark night of the soul, during a near-death experience, during disease, during the death portal, there really many of the times, and if not most of the times, for the people who have really sat with the inner winter season, there is a lack of hope. There is like this stagnant, muggy water that you're just sitting in, there's like this cloudy all the time. It just feels like you just can't move, you can't breathe. There is no internal fire inside of you, or almost none. And so hope is that, it's that inner prayer of, God, like, show me, like, is there more? Is there something for me to hope for? Is there something for me to live for? And so hope is at the core of the human experience, of hoping that life will be abundant, and that reconnection within ourselves with that inner knowing that life is abundant, that life is supporting us. Possibilities, I mean, of course, I'm going to tell you a story in a little bit, but or some stories about where I've been. But possibilities are those pause moments where you literally receive insight. It's like creation literally drops this semen seed inside of you, woman or man, doesn't matter. But it's like that creative juice is dropped inside of you, and something springs forth. That's a possibility. It's like you didn't know you could you could do that. You didn't know you could think that. You didn't know you could believe that. You didn't know you could alchemize that. You didn't know you could experience that. And trust is I feel like it does go hand in hand with hope. But the trust is that knowing that you are not alone. So in my poetry book that you can download, there's this poem that's called All in One, Alone. It's called Alone. But it is the reminder. You can download it for free on my website, side note. But there is this knowing inside of us, there's this deep, deep knowing inside of us that there is this magical, mystical realm that we can never truly, truly understand with our one being all of the time. That is like the art of embodiment, like slowly but surely growing that alchemical cauldron to trust that in every single moment we can live a magical, mystical moment. And yes, like, I am not there yet. I don't think I'll ever be there. But it is a practice. It is a practice and a play. And if we take it like that, that's like the trusting that like there is a divine order, there is a divine plan. Yes, I am a co-creatrix. Yes, you are a co-creatrix. But at the same time, we don't have to do it all. We don't have to hold the whole weight of the world on top of us. We can trust that who we are and what we've done and what we do is enough. So I hope that during this season, that hope, that possibilities, that trust are abundant inside of you. And if they're not, just remember that is some of the gifts of the spring season. So whenever you do find yourself in spring season again, which you will, we all do, because it is the rebirth season. Like, everybody who is here on this planet is still living and still breathing and zooming by. And so they have all chosen to live in a spring season. Now internally is the job or the work to remember how much we are living in alignment with our own inner spring and our own inner well of wanting to burst through with our own creativity, our own intuition, ideas, our gifts, etc., etc. So, by the way, I know you know this, but I just love saying it anyway. Aries, which begins the spring season in the beginning. Aries is the first sign that literally says, like, I was chosen first. Yeah, they were chosen first, okay? We love them. If you have Aries people in your life, you know what I'm talking about, because they are springing forth inside of themselves with just like, I am that shit. I am that I am. And so how can we celebrate our beautiful Aries beings around us, and how can we keep uplifting them, because they are those sacred warriors that will take the flag and go like, I will go do this. I will do it first. I want to do this. Like, there's this desire. It is fire. It is the first fire element. So just think down and below first chakra. It's like that, oof, like they're just ready to go. It's like a rocket. And so for the next 3 months, remembering that it is a growing forth. Like when you are surrounded by an area that has spring around, you'll notice that once you go into like a field or a forest or outside, you'll begin to feel it, and it's not quite summer, so you begin to feel like the growing buds, like it's almost like a bursting through. You see how tight they are in the beginning, the buds of the flowers, and how long it takes them. So just remember and gift yourself grace always in whatever season you're in. If you happen to be in a spring season, write it down below. If you happen not to be in a spring season and you want to share what season you are in, then write it down below in the comment threads. I would love to know and support you and give you maybe like the words, the themes, the sacred themes that go with that season. I would love to gift that for you, to just remind you that wherever you are is perfectly okay. How I wanted to close today was just with a personal share. The last couple of weeks and months, I could actually feel myself deeply in a winter season. I felt myself stop. I felt myself not wanting to, not even not wanting to, not receiving poems, not receiving written word where I write down. And I go through many seasons of those. I've noticed in the last, what is it like? I don't even know when I started to receive written words as medicine for me, but I started to notice that I literally would have these cycles within a year where I would not receive those words. And so this year I was like, okay, I get it now. I get it now. Don't push against it. Don't force myself. Don't do it. So I haven't done any art. All of my shells, all of my wood, all of the things that I had the energy for many months ago are no longer there, and I made peace with it. So that was one. I let go of the need to be in an art-filled space internally in the last couple of months. I tended more my sacred feminine wounding, my sacred feminine lineage, my relationship with my mother, things that internally within me. And so when I'm not talking about anybody else, but when I am speaking about this, I'm not speaking about you have to do anything with that person, you have to say anything. It's the layers that you're doing for yourself in honor of yourself, in honor of your lineage, and yes, and in honor of having a more harmonious relationship with your mother, whoever it is that you are tending in that moment. But my own experience of being a healer and supporting people, and it's never about the other person, and it's never about what you want the other person to do or not do. It's about the freedom and the liberation that you feel within yourself to remember that you are a whole, holy being, and that you also came from them. So if we can't make peace with that, then you get another lifetime for it. That's my own belief. Take it or leave it. So I was tending those layers because they were coming up. So that's when you tend them. You tend them when you know it's time for you to tend them. And so I've been doing actually this beautiful affirmation practice with my sacred feminine line. I did a beautiful healing constellation with money and abundance and my mother. And it was a beautiful, beautiful healing constellation. And out of that, like, I came up with this beautiful affirmation that was also gifted by this beautiful healer. And I just kind of compiled it all up together. And I do my practice every day. But so that's one of the things that I've been tending in this that I was tending in this winter season, because I feel like I'm like coming. Can you hear? Like, I am feeling more springy. But something that I wanted to share with you that I heard was a couple of months ago, I heard that I needed to close, well, actually probably a couple weeks ago. I'm really bad with numbers and timings, but I'm really good with numerology. I mean, yeah, go figure. Those Gemini people, those beautiful paradoxers, I love y'all, okay? Okay, hold on. Okay, so I heard that I needed to not do, and I heard it through other people too, so I had some one-on-ones. I received this information, but I already had this information. It had already bubbled up inside of me that I needed to stop selling my courses online. That I already knew I had gotten off of Instagram a while back. That I wanted to close my app. That was a new one that came up a couple of weeks ago. I had literally spent since January, like winter season, just like organizing everything and putting it beautifully in my app and having everything ready. And like, it's not that I couldn't have sold it before. I could have sold it before, but just like organizing everything, right? In the structure of your work. That's Capricorn, which I did in Capricorn season. But it was like I was erecting this new system. And what I really realized in the last literally 24 hours, and I can now speak of it, is like I was erecting this system inside of myself. It was not so much of my app and my courses. It was like this culmination of 10 years, because 10 years ago, I started selling online courses and then doing live groups with online courses, and like that whole movement, you know? And this 10-year cycle ended with a culmination in the remembrance that all of those beautiful things that I was doing, that they were beautiful, and I'm grateful that I did them. They were not ideas that came through me. They were ideas that came through from sacred teachers that I had said yes to, that I had paid hundreds and thousands and in the 10-year tens and tens of thousands of dollars for people supporting me. But ultimately, those ideas, those conceptions were not mine. They were taught to me and to us because that's the era that we live in, and that's how, that's how we are doing it mainly, which is beautiful, and it served me and it serves a lot of humans. But what I noticed, this is the holy confession, in the last couple of weeks, is that I haven't been receiving clients that way. I have not had clients in many, many months, paying clients. I've had many, many clients, but I've not had paying clients. So it was like this feeling of like, just stop, Jimena. And the stopping, the winter is like, I actually am not feeling this super, super joy that I'm feeling when I'm doing my soul mandala activations with like private clients and these private readings and like supporting the person privately. It's like a birth, and I've always supported people in conception and pregnancy and birth and death and in rebirth. Like I know that piece, but it was really, really freeing to feel like, hey, I don't have to do it that way anymore. Just like free it. And so literally the confession is this morning before making this recording, I was going to make this recording, but I knew, I was like, I actually have to close that first before I make this recording. I closed down my Instagram altogether now, because I knew that in the last couple of months, actually, YouTube was giving me much more inspiration. I was excited about being on YouTube. I actually wanted to do less and less. I didn't want to have my whole community of beautiful beings that I've known for decades, like popping in and out of my mind. I love you all, but yes, I'm a hermit. So how can you claim who you are in a winter season? How can you claim who you truly are, who you want to keep? It's right. It's like, it's that thought of like in winter season, you hold on, right? You hoard. A lot of people hoard during winter season, and especially in fearful, dark times in our past centuries, people have hoarded because of the fear, not only because of the fear, but because there wasn't food in winter season. But we don't live there. It was very hard to get food, right? But we don't live there within that season collectively anymore, but we keep recreating that. So it was like I was hoarding, like, just keep Instagram for now, just close it, don't go on there. I would pop in and out if I needed to like look up somebody and get their phone number and write them. And then I was like, why am I doing that? I could do that, like look it up on Google. Like Google, I can go in, hop in, do that, and it'll take me to, I'll grab it. And then I don't have to be in Instagram. And I had to let go of myself. I think it was 1 or 2 years before COVID where I started sharing in Instagram my poems, and it was a way for me to share myself during that season and to spring forth during that season and to share my live poetry and to share myself for many, many years. But then I knew that it was time. But for a couple of weeks, I tend to do that. And I think we as humans tend to do that too, okay? I think it takes us a while, and that's okay. Sometimes we're quicker and sometimes we're not. So in these two instances, I was not able to so quickly just turn off and say, okay, I just sat with it a time. I parked it. I had a different relationship. I was okay with that relationship, but what I felt in the body was just like, let go. Because as a minimalist mama who practiced minimalist in her life in every area, that's my work is also included there. So that means that I have to constantly be in relationship to what is no longer really serving me. Like, why am I keeping this? Am I valuing my relationship with it? Not only am I valuing what I'm getting out of it, but am I valuing my own relationship and how I feel with it? And I didn't want to be thinking in my morning walks, like, is this something that I want to share? Like I've been growing the trust that the right clients are going to come to me, that the right clients who want to work with me and who want my support are literally going to show up here, or going to show up in real life, or are going to show up through my podcast. And that was a yes. So what I wanted to share with you is just like tune into energetically, what is it that you are in a no? And what is it that you're in a maybe? And so for me, it's really easy in this season in my life to know what is a no. And then I keep the maybe in there internally for a while until I'm like, does it turn to a yes or does it not? If it doesn't, then it has to go. It's a no. And so I also closed down my app. I closed down all of my work. I had a beautiful, teary, like 3-minute, 4-minute share with one of my beautiful soul sisters who might be hearing this one day. I love you. I love you. I love you. You know who you are. And I literally shared with her, oh my God, look how beautiful it was. Because like when I was looking at it, and that's one of the things that happens. You're like, oh, it's so beautiful. Why would I end that? Why would I close that? Why would I give that dress away? Why would I stop that relationship? And there's something that happens inside of us as humans that we really, I believe that one of our main practices is to trust that in the embodiment practice, the eternal will always be. Those eternal gifts that you received from your past beloved, from your past best friend. I'm talking about my own personal life, can you tell? From my past things that I've done work-wise, from my past places that I've lived, and you plug in your ... for you, that I believe, I trust that I have received. It's kind of like when you eat. I have received all that I needed to receive. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for that experience, and I free it. I liberate it. And then I trust that at the same time, if it's going to pick up back again in another way or in another era, it will. But it's going to have to be literally a new birth inside of me. Again, it has nothing to do with the external, but inside of me. And so, yeah, I wanted to share that, like, I was in tears making that recording, and at the same time knowing, okay, it was beautiful, my app, all the courses in there, all the things I could sell, right? It was like this mentality of like, I can hold it until I have my client, until my client pays me, and then until, and that's, I don't need to say what I was about to say, but what I will say is I'm in an era now where I'm feeling deeper trust than ever. As I was telling my soul sister, my first sacred theme in my first course that I did 10 years ago, that my husband helped me film in our house when we lived in California, in this beautiful back deck. He helped me film every single one of my videos while he was with the kiddos, while I was filming, just realizing that that was just for me. The amount of people that watched that video, beautiful, that took that course, beautiful. But the first one was trust yourself first. And literally, like I was telling my soul sister, it's like, oh, I'm feeling that again. The depth of what it means in embodiment of when we trust ourselves. So may you trust yourself in this beautiful season. May you trust that what is right for you is right for you. R-I-T-E. It is your rite of passage. It's not about right or wrong, but it is your rite of passage that you are going through. And in this season, I'm a yes still for YouTube. I'm a yes for my podcast meditations, where I literally on my computer, I just sit down, I don't put on my screen so I don't see myself, and I just make an alchemical activation. I love that shit. It's like my app, but I'm a yes to that. And live, like I love, I'm what you call in human design a 6-2 profile. And again, if you want me to drop down your little profile and a little like snippet of what your profile in human design is, you know what to do. Put it in the comments. But the 6-2, I loved when I was researching and studying about the 6-2, and somewhere I read about the rainmaker. And the rainmaker is the person that is like heralded, like celebrated, like in a community where it hasn't rained, and then literally this person shows up and they call him the rainmaker, or her the rainmaker. But yes, in the past they called him, but him, her, the rainmaker. And they would bring rain, right? They would bring the rains that would then lubricate and rebirth the soil and give life. And so I have always been that person that like literally, like I'm out somewhere, even if it's in the boondocks, and I meet somebody and that person is either gifting me something or I'm gifting them something. So I'm just reclaiming that I trust that wherever I am physically, here or here, that I am going to receive. And I wish the same for you during this beautiful spring season, that you begin to grow that trust. And so I'll end with just this visual of feeling your feet planted on the earth, feeling that energy of bursting through energy, that Aries, that fiery energy of passion bursting through the soles of your feet, very grounded either on the earth, on the soil, on the sand, on concrete, I don't care. on wood, it doesn't matter, okay? It really doesn't matter. But that you feel that energy starting to burst through, bud out. And bud out where? Like, feel it in your, is it in your legs, or is it in your belly, or is it in your breasts? Is it in your mouth, your crown of your head? Like, what area of your body is it wanting to be rebirthed from? And maybe your whole being. And just hold that visual, invite that visual to just gift you little seeds of joy throughout this season, and what it is that you're wanting to, what it is that you're wanting to blossom, what it is that you're wanting to give your lubrication, your saliva, right? Your voice, your energy, your water, your tears, like you're longing for in this season, and honor that. Be okay with whatever comes up without the judgment, kind of like of what I've said. Like when I needed to stop my art, like my mind was like, hey, I want to do this art, and then my body was like, you ain't doing this art in this season. So just honor what it looks like for you this sacred spring season. So a summary: if you want to drop in your profile, or if you want to drop in, you would have to private message me your information, or just look up what is my profile on a free human design calculator. Free human design calculator, plug it up. Jenna Zoe, I love Jenna Zoe's page. There's many beautiful. Micah Gabriella is amazing. But just plug that in, and plug in your information, and then on the comment, let me know what profile. It's a number, so it'd be like one number / another number, and I will be happy just like to little summarize, like a little summary snippet of whatever comes through. And yes, I've been sharing this, and I'll continue to share it. If you really want an in-depth mandala of your sacred soul, then I love doing those. It's literally this alchemical activation where I sit with your numerology codes, your human design codes, your astrology codes, archetypes. If I know you personally, then archetypes. If we're having in our private session, I actually will probably receive the information for the archetype. So I just blend in all of these codes like a beautiful lotus flower, like petals worth of information that I share in this alchemical recording that I share back with you after our private session together. And you also receive this beautiful, literally like this beautiful written like PDF format of everything broken down with sacred themes around the lotus flower. And one beautiful sacred soul sister printed hers out, and she has it in her house, and I love it. I love it when people that receive from me then decide to actually put those things in their homes. So that is how I'm supporting people for now, and I'm also staying open for the possibilities of what wants to be born through me in relationship with my beautiful muses, my beautiful clients, and what will come forth. So much love, so many blessings. Bye, beautiful one.